Hmm. All right, gentlemen. I think the bar has been raised. On tonight's episode for the W11 podcast, number 10. I gotta say, Richard, we did it, man. We did it.
Yeah.
This is
This is
number
a
10.
short-term goal.
After much anticipation and scheduling.
Dang.
I'm happy to introduce this fine gentleman, Dr. Yousef Zafarkan, man.
Yeah.
What's going
Hello,
on,
guys.
buddy?
Nothing much, man. Living life, you know.
Living life. How you been? How was your day? Tell us about your day, man. Did you have your coffee early in this morning?
Yeah, man, dude. I've gotten to the point where I need to have coffee every morning now. Otherwise, life just kind of is a little difficult. To get up in the morning. I was never really a big coffee person to begin with, but lately it's like
that's one thing I didn't know about you. How are you
feeling?
feeling,
Your own
Richard?
coffee?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so I used to hit up La Colombe in the West Loop, way to work when I lived in Ukrainian Village, and then Hannah moved in and we started dating, and I was getting La Colombe for $2, and I was like, this is $14 for coffee. This is a bit insane. So started brewing at home with a Smeg, and yeah.
A snake?
So,
what's that process all
I
about?
think it's just a high-end coffee maker. It's like a $200 coffee.
Smeg? Is that the brand?
Yeah. SMEG, I think, right?
They do like it's like a appliance brand, isn't it?
Correct.
Like
Yeah,
high-end.
Yeah.
And it's got like
so it's
the
going
old
into
school.
a pot.
It's like old school looking, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, old school looking. No, yeah, old school looking. It's got like a stainless steel mesh filter that you can kind of clean out, as opposed to using like a traditional coffee filter. But yeah, just
So what do you
bullshit.
What's the quantity that you brew at one time? The full pot?
I think we do we do it 6 cups. I think the full pot's like 8, maybe 10. So we'll do 6.
Right.
I'll take about 4 cups. She'll take about 2. So
how many mugs is that? Like, is that like 3 mugs of coffee? 3 small mugs?
I would say probably 3 to 4 size, like regular mugs that you bought from Disneyland back in the day.
That's good. Yeah, we really want to know like the morning routine of Yousef. I mean, I've been so interested in knowing, the lifestyle and what it takes to be Yousef. So what is it, like a 4 in the morning type of deal? You get up and
fuck no.
You do like a half an hour stretching. What are we talking about here?
I should.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah,
like
me too. We all should. We
should, especially being like one of the oldest in the group. But
would you recommend as a chiropractor to stretch in the morning?
I would recommend just to stretch in general, man. It's one of those things that's just really good for the muscles and tendons and ligaments, and especially as we get older, things are just crickety and don't move quite as well as they used to.
Yeah, I've had that thought recently. Like the people who have maintained their flexibility in their later years, those are the players that like don't look like I don't know, stick men out on the field, because it's the stick men who just have no mobility, no flexibility, and you can tell after a while.
Yeah.
Who anybody in particular you're talking about?
No.
I mean, you're the one who said you didn't stretch every day. I'm
Damn, bro.
No, I'm kidding. I would never do that to a guest.
Not while they're here.
No one on our team. It's all like the Fathers United, and no, we take good care.
They might be
of
watching
ourselves.
this too, Richard. I do send this podcast to everybody on CFRS.
Oh, there's competing markets out there for sure.
And
word spreads like wildfire, and everyone knows that podcasts are the new form of team enhancement. Improves your performance because you grow mentally and emotionally together. Juan Catalan's doing it. Yeah, it's the next thing. They're gonna start banning it because it's so effective. I mean, look at our record, guys. It speaks everything.
Okay. All I know is like Yousef, I think he stopped aging at some point. He just looks the same to me. And then his soccer level has gradually just stayed or even getting better. You know, the passes are getting crispier.
For sure.
That's for sure. Maybe
No,
it's the fatherhood.
there's definitely a
Fatherhood,
confidence
you know?
that comes with fatherhood, I think.
Is that that's what I was gonna get into. How does
I don't know if it's confidence. I feel like it's just lack of, fucks given.
is that
there's more important things that come with you kind of put those things first now all of a sudden.
I mean, you were also one who was playing multiple times a week. Now that's impossible, and you got to make the most of your time on the field, right?
Well, it's going to be an impossibility for quite a bit for at least a few months, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're doing your part in trying to get me back on the team. You sustained an injury, so I could open up a spot for me, but.
Oh yeah, true. That's a good way to look at it.
But Boris took the spot.
What was the spot again? That's Tom's spot.
The spot on a crowded winning 11 squad that everyone wants to play because there's championship trophies dripping.
Yeah, I just got lucky, man. I just got lucky. That's what it was. You know, that's all it was, dude. It was a blessing that morning.
We got to get back to this morning routine though. So what time are you really waking up?
What's going on?
What deodorant are you using these days?
If any.
That I don't. Never have.
Really?
What?
I didn't know.
Never. Yep. This is always a surprise for everybody.
Hold on. So you don't use deodorant?
Negative. Never have.
I mean, and like rounding about to our first episode, is it because you don't want the stains in your shirts?
No, I just so passing up the morning. We'll just jump past the routine for now. I'll come back to it, I guess. But yeah, like I remember in like grade school and like gym class and like all the kids had deodorant and I never knew what it was. I like these guys are just spraying random things in their armpits and I kind of did it here or there, borrowing like a friend's can. It just became this thing that everybody just did, and I didn't really quite know why, and I wasn't particularly a big fan of it, and I just never did it. And then fast forward, like not to my knowledge was there any necessity for it, and it's not like anybody complained about any odors coming from me by any means, but yeah, there was one time like during like the very frequent sessions at Chicago Soccer Club Chicago, sorry, where I went to go meet up with some friends for dinner afterwards, and she's like, my friend was just like, hey, just come, and I'm just like, I should go home and take a shower, and she's like, no, don't worry about it, we're still here, and I'm like, all right, cool, and we went to that bank vault place off of Division, I forget the name of it, but I don't think it's there anymore. And I went and I sat down, and it was like my girl group, my friend of like 5 or 6 girls that I just used to hang out with. Nothing, ever happened. And sat next to my friend, Shanila, and she's just like, you don't smell at all. Like, and this is after playing an hour and a half worth of soccer at Sen. And like to the point where she took my arm, lifted my arm up, stuck her nose in there, and she's just like, I barely smell anything. So yeah, it's It's
was this like mid-COVID or something? Because maybe she had COVID,
this
bro.
Like, right.
Forgot about that. It's just a symptom.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so
this is.
So that's it. You don't really smell. You have this natural smell that smells good, or you don't even smell at all?
Just don't even smell at all. There are, so now that obviously I'm married and have a wife, there are some minor moments where she has noticed it, but it's also like reusing a shirt or that sort of thing. But aside from that, for the most part, no.
Wow, that's something. So I never thought that one can go without deodorant.
Yeah, you know how people always give those hypothetical questions, like if you could just inherit one ability, what would it be? And I never considered this as one of my choices, but now that you say it, it's like, damn it, I stink, dude. I smell so bad. I have to like beeline it from the gym back home because I stink, and I no longer can even put my clothes in the hamper because it smells like a dead rat has died in the bathroom where the hamper stays.
Well, he takes
Has
it
to go
to like
straight
the
into
other
the
spectrum.
yeah.
That could be,
Dude,
but
I
that could
stink.
also be another strength, Richard. Don't take that as something bad.
Right?
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's
is
probably
it? Is it
your
like
body's preparing you for some kind of war or something that you have to smell
That you
bad.
have to ward off the.
could be? I think I actually
Oh.
just kind of I was introduced to a lot of weird bacteria during my wrestling days. And that's because I think I got a lot stinkier after I started wrestling.
Around those lines.
That I think that it can actually happen too. Like you're introduced to new cultures in your body.
Or like
then
mixing. I
assumes
mean,
them.
if you're on the mat and you're constantly kind of very close to man and just getting, I mean, that could in some way you end
Yeah.
up smelling like, because I when I did a little bit of jujitsu, I would just end up smelling like the other guys. And we're like
Right, right.
sweating,
Yeah.
you know.
And
Yeah,
So I
did
really
you
had to
then?
shower
It
right
is-
after that, like right after that. So
it is
anyways,
bacteria
hey,
that causes the smell. So
you guys
Mhm.
you guys drinking anything?
I'm in the holiday spirit with a happy Claw Days mug. That's the text on the inside. But
Claude.
But
Ooh.
I don't come without some liquor as well. Inside here is some peppermint
That's
vanilla
what she said.
tea because I want to ward off. I want to ward off any sicknesses. We got a trip ahead of us in a couple days, but I'm gonna add this beer schnapps to
beer
the
schnapps.
peppermint.
Oh.
Beer schnapps. I got it from Jeans. I've only had like one shot of it.
And what is that
I
exactly?
remember it
Can
not being pleasant.
What does it smell
It's
like?
alcohol with natural beer flavor from Austria.
Oh, from Austria. Well,
What kind of
let's hear the
what
pour.
kind of alcohol is it?
It's beer schnapps.
It's a schnapp.
I don't know what it is.
Don't be such a schmug with the schnapps, bro.
Leave me alone, guest. I'm the host. I can drink what I want. So what are you drinking?
What are you drinking, Yousef?
Me? Well, I grabbed this. I grabbed some Victor's bourbon.
There we go.
Some bourbon.
Yeah.
He's real, man. He's
Yeah, I don't like to throw. I mean, I don't really drink that much anymore, but for special occasions such as this.
Do you have
Yeah.
Kettle One in your house by any chance?
Yes.
Of course you do.
You
That's
have
one other thing,
Cranberry?
guys.
No. You
Do I
used
have
to
what?
drink it with
Natural.
cranberry, right? Now you drink it with
I think
soda?
so. Just drink soda. It's healthy.
Kettle soda, right?
Kettle?
Kettle soda's
No,
your
it's
order?
Kettle soda. Kettle
Kettle
soda.
soda's
Yeah,
good.
kettle soda.
Kettle soda. It used to be Kettle Sprite, and then
Oh, okay. That was kind of kettle
people
cranberry
carved
at
at
one
me for
point.
the sugar content. Yeah, no, not cranberry.
So we
I'm
all
not
we
that
all got our
old.
drinks.
As you should, yeah. You don't want to drink sugar with
What-
your alcohol.
Yeah, right. What did you have to
Yeah.
drink, Boris?
Me, I've had quite a few drinks over since I've been drinking every single day since Saturday, which is sorry, Connie, I know you're away, but I didn't mean
All
to.
right.
It just happens that way. So today I had to relax today, and I'm going white girl wasted. So I'm going the infamous Goose Sauvignon Blanc. And it just smells delicious. It smells like trees from
Wow.
south of Argentina.
That's poetic. Real
Yeah, that's
poetic.
as far as I
You
get.
give like a variety of tree?
This
Like,
is what
like a pine
Yousef
tree?
This is what Yousef would smell like if he smelled like
Does it
anything.
Does it smell like a sperm tree?
Like a sperm tree. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna take my first
Who's
sip.
the
Cheers.
best smelling? Who's the best
Cheers.
smelling fella, you think?
I think if I had to put in choice, let's see.
I can't
Let's rank this.
I can't
for,
recall
top
any
Smelling
actual.
individual.
top three, the most like they smell good, or they just?
I mean, I don't
we
even
don't
know
have
who
any-
smells better or worse, but
I was gonna say, I think we have any like Arabs on the team, so I think if we did,
That's good.
that
I remember I
team.
used to.
Wait, were you there the other day, Yousef? 2 weeks ago?
No,
There was
an all Arab team.
Oh my God, it was the funniest thing ever. Boris, you were there. There was like 18 of them for the 7-a-side. And they all had like these really tight kits. And
Hold
they
The 7.
Yeah,
This
man.
past Friday?
No, 2 Fridays ago. The
2
one that
Fridays
I
ago.
went to watch.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
they were playing on the field, and yeah, these super tight jerseys, white jerseys, and I think Ryan made the comment like, "Man, those guys smell so good over there."
Oh
And
yeah,
then
they smelled really good. That's true. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then they got on the pitch.
Yeah,
And they lost.
Literally like 10 guys
And they
as
got destroyed.
substitutes,
I'm
and
sorry.
some of them look like amateur Olympian wrestlers. Their body
Really?
types were, yeah,
Huh.
man, they were thick. But
Yeah. Sometimes I played in the, way back in the day. I used to play with a bunch of Middle Eastern, and just Eastern European. This league in Villa Park. So it was a bunch of Bosnian teams and Albanian and Russian and Polish and and yeah, man, they yeah, it's
Good
sometimes
sense.
alone.
with that and the soccer and the smell and being indoors. Yeah, a lot can go wrong, and just myself
Felt
as
like
well.
you're at a
I'm just
wedding,
like, I
but
can
playing
really
soccer.
smell myself. I can really smell myself. But yeah, some of these people, they just don't believe in deodorant, and that's okay. Maybe it's healthy to know.
Wait, I thought it was
Well, there's.
you weren't being sarcastic, were you, Yusuf?
No, I wasn't. No.
No, he's
Yeah,
for real.
you're being
I'm being
serious. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like a reputation of any certain group, to be honest.
It's not. I just, when it comes out, people think I'm making shit up, and I'm like, no.
I mean, that's usually.
I'm not.
Sure.
I was
Wow.
I was hanging out with Fabio earlier, which is very surprising. We
Today?
we like, hey, let's catch a tennis match. So
Mm-hmm.
he said, and I'd ask him, hey, who you hang out with the most out of the footy fellas? And he's like, dude, Yousef used to be my boy.
Yeah.
He's like, we used to go out all the time.
We did.
Hang out.
I was actually there when he met his now wife /
Really?
I was there, and
when was this?
This is years ago. This is at Paris Club too. On top of it, it was at Paris Club.
I don't know that place. Yeah.
I don't either. But what's it called? Yeah, he was having a good night. And he met his wife Brittany there, and surprised he even remembers it. But
that's it. I mean,
yeah, I was there.
Fabio, I don't think Fabio ever has like a bad night. I think they're always good.
No, yeah, he definitely has a good night all the time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
So I didn't know the friendship was there.
He's a very positive disposition. I think it's very seldom I've seen him in bad spirits.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that and more than enough drinks in, and it's quite the time. It is quite the time.
He was young. He was young.
Yes,
he could do that.
Hey, he is young.
Going back to
is that too?
I want to talk about Yousef, man. I want to talk like the early days of Yousef,
Yeah.
When he was a babe. Do you remember when you were like 2 years old, Yousef? Like, how was that time?
I wouldn't say 2. I would say probably like I think I remember like 4 or 6-ish.
What is the first memory? Actual good memory? No, my first memories are I guess 4 or 5 years old. So
yeah.
Tell me first life memories, man. What's something that impacted you at the age of 5, 6 years old? Did you play soccer already at the time?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
And where was this?
So we played. So I grew up it was unincorporated Barrington. It's now known as Deer Park. But it is District 95 for those teachers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is like Lake Zurich High School. yeah, I went to my mom enrolled me in AYSO. Probably I would say it was 6, and I remember playing practices behind my elementary school, which is called Quinton, and I remember being loving every minute and enjoying being out there. But yeah, I remember the practices and stuff like that. But I remember my first coach, he drove this old like Cadillac or Lincoln or something, and he used to just, his wife, either he or his wife used to just bake cookies, and he would just come with his car and he would pop the trunk open and it would just be all these like freshly baked cookies. Looking back at it, it's the weirdest thing I've ever
he was just a sweet man baking everybody cookies, I think.
I thought I misheard you and he was like hotboxing his car, but no, he's baking cookies. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they baked cookies, and I don't remember his name for the life of me, but yeah, you'd pop the trunk and there'd just be like a trunk full of just these chocolate chip cookies, and it was just, like I said, looking back and thinking about it, it's the weirdest thing.
My mom, because there was a lack of coaches, she coached my sister's like 4th grade basketball team, and I think she had a very similar approach, like just like beat them with sweets and kindness, just motivate your kids through your good nature.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think you got to be a really nice coach for the kids if you want them to listen to you. Yeah, my first coach was just amazing. He even bought me soccer shoes, drove me around, bought me a ball, made me go to practice. So it's always good to have people do that, you know.
Did he drop you once the recruiters lost interest?
Yeah, as soon as I had no future, he's like, Boris, I can't afford to do this anymore, man. You gotta start kicking it with your right foot as well. So left-footed.
They're pulling weight.
So you started playing at the age of 6, recreational, and then moved up the ranks. You went to high school. Did you play in high school?
Well, no. Yeah. So it was interesting because so probably after that, like for a few seasons, one of the other kids in my neighborhood, his name is Dan Locker. His father coached him as well, and they kind of pulled me onto their team. And I didn't know, but I guess like, when all the coaches meet and for the season, they'll like pick players, from my understanding. So he just kept on adding me to his roster every time we would play. And this was probably for a good, I don't know, probably until junior high. So probably until 6th grade. Mm-hmm. I was playing in AYSO and not trying to like, there's a point in the beginning when it was all boys. And then I think in grade school at some point in time, they started to integrate girls and make it co-ed because I think that the girls didn't have enough teams to play. And everybody really frowned upon that. But it was one of those things where I didn't have a problem with it, but
I like that.
It was one of those things where yeah, it was, I was one of the, I would say, not to toot my own horn, I was one of the better players in the league.
Still,
it was like me and this other guy, Dean. Yeah. Me and this other guy, Dean. And then as soon as like junior high hit and high school hit, it was like bottom of the barrel. Because
like what happened? I kept on, like, what is it that you didn't continue?
Well, because all the other kids, they played travel teams. I kept on wanting to join the travel teams, and my mom was just like, "I don't want to drive you all over the place." Like, no.
She has better things to do.
Didn't quite. Yeah, right. Like go shopping at TJ Maxx. But yeah, so all these kids like had all these skills that they developed by playing with travel teams that I did, and then it was like back to the bottom of the pool.
Okay. So did you stop playing at that point, or did you just kind of keep rolling?
Yeah, so I kept rolling. So junior high wasn't so bad. Junior high was good. it was high school where it hit harder, where it was like, damn, these guys are a lot better. But we're still on the team. We were, freshman year of high school, we were Fox Valley Conference champs. It's, I think, the only title that I have under my belt. And then sophomore year, I played, and then junior year, I played JV, and I didn't play senior year. And I remember that we had played in a tournament and we lost, and like our keeper was like really upset in the back. His name is Randy. He was super upset in the back, and
is there a sad
and,
emoji on this one or no? No.
Is there?
Worried emoji.
Yeah, poor.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay. I hope
Like he was
from
like,
that loss.
like, yeah, right. I don't know if he ever played ever again, but
Oh, wow, he was quite that. Like he really didn't play after that.
That's
It's that bad.
We should reach out to him.
How many goals did he
welcoming
get
into
scored
the
on, or
Waiting
what's
11
going on?
fold. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could message him on Facebook and be like, "Hey man,
man,
did
please
you
do.
ever play
Let
ever
us-
again after that?" Or
Let us know how that goes.
yeah, no.
Just do
But
it.
yeah, me and my buddy, we
Just send
What
him
is
the
it?
link, bro. Get him on the
No,
Skype.
I was gonna say we should just like when we're desperate for a keeper, an hour before the match. Just, Randy,
Hey,
I don't
it's
know.
been a
Is
long
it
time. Are
Randy?
you available? Are you available in 45 minutes to play in the city at
Nope.
10 o'clock?
Nobody
That'd
has
be pretty
invited me
funny.
in 25 years.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yousef,
But,
I'm trying to picture Yousef in high school. Like what kind of man were you, man? Like what were the hobbies besides soccer? Like what music did you listen to? What was your favorite class?
Interesting. Okay.
Were
Yeah.
you, yeah, what was it? Who did you hang out with?
He's frozen in thought.
Wow, that was a heavy question for him.
Even
for his Wi-Fi. Even for his Wi-Fi.
He just shut his computer. God damn it! I didn't think it was gonna be hard hitting like this.
Yeah, he had his first broken heart junior year.
He'd prepared all of his answers up until this point, and he just couldn't take it.
Like I thought we were gonna just talk about soccer, bro. It's all good. I'm sorry, Yousef.
So what about question back at you? What were you like in high school? What subjects did you excel in? Oh, there we go. He's back.
There we go.
Sorry
Have you thought about your answer?
Nah, that's okay, man. I thought you got sad like Randy when we,
Uh-oh. Man, we need this answer. I'm dying for it. Who'd you go to prom with?
Dude, yeah.
When was your first kiss? When was your first makeout?
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, let's go back to it.
Where did I lose it?
Tell us a little bit about young Yousef going through the high school highways.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great metaphor.
High school highway.
I'm just thinking about his Ducati and just like he probably had it already.
No, I did not. I did not even.
That would have been nice.
I didn't even ride a motorcycle until I was. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Can you get?
You could just.
Oh, okay. It's just super delayed. Sorry, man.
So yeah, go ahead, man. Just spit it out, bro. We're waiting.
Go tell Hannah to get off the internet.
Just tell your neighbors to stop jumping in your Wi-Fi, bro. How were you in high school, Richard? I never asked you this question. What's going on? You okay?
I was an enigma in high school, man. Nobody understood me. No, I was. I always say this about myself. If I hadn't excelled in sports, I would have been the biggest nerd. But sports just brought me into all these folds, and I was cool by proxy.
Yeah.
And but I was always such a shy kid, always super nice.
So like sports definitely helped you develop friendships. during high school? Or
Yeah,
just keep it
I
to
think
like, like a group.
I think I would have been like a doctor had it not been for damn sports or something. But
God damn, you fucked up, bro.
you're good at sports and you get to all the parties and then you get all these social influences.
I
And
mean,
the next thing you know,
that's really it. I mean, because of my friends, I do heating and cooling. Because they were always just so cold to me.
is that a
Sorry about
pun? Was that a joke?
that. Yeah. Hey, Yousef, can you are you back? Are you not? I'm just trying to figure him out.
I'm starting to really get skeptical of Skype and feel like it's at fault
Yeah.
for all of this.
Yeah, maybe we should yeah, we'll figure this out, man.
We should make our
yeah, I mean,
own
talking about high
platform.
school, I think I had a pretty decent time in high school. I was like I was really into music, and like people found it interesting that I knew a lot of Spanish music, and there was it was at the time where there was a lot of Latinos moving into Berlin. So there was like I was the only DJ, so I used to like just kind of hang out with everyone because it was someone's birthday and I would like go and DJ or something.
Was it DJ Yo Bory? Did you ever do that to your name?
Yeah, I've done that.
He'll be back. He'll be back and he'll be stronger
hopefully.
than ever, man. You can never count Yousef out of the game.
Don't underestimate Yousef at a time of pressure.
Seriously. That's where he's the game scoring goal from the free kick at 20 yards out on the right-hand side. When you least expect it.
Dude,
His shot, man.
last Friday's game, it was surprisingly good. They just people just it was this team that they built out of nowhere. And they were playing. Whew,
they were individuals? There's an individual team?
Yeah, it was like an individual. They got together, but man, they were all good. They were actually playing for real. We beat them because I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, from the summary, I thought you guys underperformed was the assessment.
Yeah. I mean, we played like individually. I think it helped individually that we were able to, kind of get through. But as a team, we weren't that bright. The connection between, the defense and all the way to the top to score was a little bit iffy. Our middle were just too wide open every time, so they were just kind of beating us to the ball. You
need those tendons, and Marvis was out, right? He's one of those primary tendons.
Marvis was yeah, and like Mike was out.
There you go.
And he's an important piece. But we got through.
I feel like that's the engine. Those are the main primary
yeah, if you have
parts
Mike
of our
at the
engine.
back, it's something because it's because when you're relying on somebody every single week at a game, you just get really used to it and comfortable, and then as soon as it goes, it's like, oh wow, we can really feel this,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
anyway,
what's up with the psychics? I really like that.
So so here's the story behind it. I purchased this one on the same day that I purchased a bomber that I gifted to you on your birthday celebration night at Donk House. I brought this one, and so I've had it in my closet. And I got to be honest with you, like the only times I've ever worn this are when I actually go to sidekicks, because I've always been a little bit uncomfortable with like the old, outdated, potentially racial stereotypes of the crows on the dartboard. And I don't even know, I haven't like researched it. I know like the crows and Dumbo they've gotten like the outdated stereotype tag on Disney Plus kind of thing. But yeah. I don't really know what the roots of these ones are. So I wouldn't like, I'd feel uncomfortable if people thought there was something there. But
I don't think they're gonna go that deep. I think it's just you're just representing a bar that you enjoyed to go, and that's it. Yeah, I mean you're not affiliated whatsoever into.
Oh no, for sure, and I don't. Or are you? I think it just shows more about me that I care way too much what strangers think about me. Because there's even times when like my Durkheisser or even like German stuff that has like the German eagle on it, I'm kind of like, it's a little bit aggressive by some people's accounts, I feel. And so I try and be very moderate in all of my dress and kind of not put myself out there too much for misinterpretation. So this is one of those occasions where I just care too much. But the story today is we opened our Christmas presents early because we're going to be flying off to California on Saturday. And my first present, I open it up and it's this. It's a second polo. And I was like, it's like,
Does it?
do you not know,
Is it?
Anna? It's the same one. It's the same
It's the
exact. She
same
even
one.
got she even got the same size. So Anna went out of her way to go to Sidekicks and to get
But is it the
another
same logo?
the same logo, same exact shirt.
That's lovely.
I mean,
Dude, we should go. We should go. You wear that. I'll wear my jacket, and we'll just. I wore the jacket once, and it wasn't to Psychics.
that jacket's sweet, man. That's
We should go. We should go to SAG and be like, whoa, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So now I have an extra polo, and I'm not going to keep a second Sidekicks polo when I hardly wear the first. So I was thinking
So what are we?
this was
What are we
going to
doing?
go to. I was thinking this would go to our guest. It was fate, you know.
It was fate.
This
But he's
is now
not here.
Yousef's. Yeah, would have helped if he was still on the call, I guess, to gift him his gift. But
Oh man, I'm getting so hungry too. What did you do? I have to go
could this
back to work.
could this be our first like actually failed podcast where it's just a
Hey,
35-minute tease?
What did you? I'm just gonna have to just continue with you. What did you eat today?
Man, today was a long day. I have my morning oatmeal with a flaxseed, chia seed, then a banana as well. Then at lunch, I had a bagel with cream cheese and one of those Lenny and Larry protein cookies. But I had to go directly from after 3 classes, saying goodbye to kids for winter break. And then I had a field trip. The drama teacher invited me to go to this field trip because I always do an after school club for the scenery crew. And so I had to go to this. It was kind of against my preference, but I went to this thing and I didn't get home until 5:45. It's such a long day, and I didn't eat anything until I got home. I was hangry.
I was angry. If
I'm
you
all good.
you know, let's say you invite someone over like on a date, like someone that you want to date or something. Let's pretend like you go on a first date with let's hold on. Let's let you go on a first date with Anna, and you want to impress Anna. What are you cooking? Like, what's your go-to meal to impress Anna on the first date?
Man, yeah, I cook quite a bit more than I ever did. Back in the day, though, I remember trying to impress her with pancakes in the morning because we were roommates before we were an official partnership. So she was impressed with my pancakes. Yo, what's up, bro?
Hey, welcome to the podcast. We want to reintroduce Yousef Zafirkan. Thank you for taking the little time that you have to be with us tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. What I missed?
So what are you drinking? No, just
what are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. My router just.
I heard you don't smell that much.
Oh yeah, deodorant. Yeah, sorry, my router decided to like either restart or just kind of stop working for.
This motherfucker went to Comcast.
Yeah, I called up Comcast. I was like,
"Hey guys, listen, bro, I'm doing a podcast right now. I need
podcast
speed."
Speed and sponsorship.
We are dying to know what this Yousef high schooler was like, man.
Oh yeah, so high school. So yeah, I was the favorite subject was biology, and there's Miss Hopkins. Hopkins was
Mr. Hopkins?
Mrs.
Hopkins.
Miss Hopkins. She was quite the teacher.
Which way?
In all ways.
Damn, bro,
Nothing
you
happened, but you know,
you miss her,
she
bro.
was a great teacher, and she was an attractive teacher, and she was a very sweet lady.
I knew it.
Yeah, and then went into AP Bio and failed out or flunked out after like the first semester or something like that.
But she got you back in and helped, and she got you back in and helped you pass, or
No, let me guess.
No,
AP Bio teacher wasn't good looking.
No.
The better looking, the better Yousef performed.
His name was Sir Stanko too.
God, nah, I'm not passing that class, bro. Fuck that.
And especially as somebody who doesn't stink, I mean, you can't identify with Stanko.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So, but lo and behold, college, I ended up getting a BS in biology. So.
Very nice. So good. So you remember your biology class? You were really into it. Outside of the class, you know, just like walking down the stairs, you know.
So
slow motion Yousef down the hall.
Slow motion Yousef down the hall was just you know.
Was he like
wearing ab? No, not at all. I just hung out with two of the soccer guys more often, Dave Pelka and Frankie. It wasn't our Frankie, but his name was Frank. And I hung out with them for a bit when I played in the high school teams, but then I also had my core group of non-white individuals that I've known since a very young age, because I went to an all-white high school, like all white.
Barrington, around there, or what was the high school name again?
It was Lake Zurich.
Lake Zurich.
Yeah, so like we had, in between the 4 grades, freshman through senior year, we had 2, maybe 3 African American individuals, and then we had, in my grade, we had my buddy Ron, Alpush Beju, Manan. We had like 4 or 5 Indian kids, and in the other grades there were maybe like 4 or 5, and then everybody else was white.
And then you made a group out of all those individuals.
Yeah, it was kind of like separate groups. So it was soccer guys that I hung out with, and then it was like the Indian guys that I hung out with that I still hang out with till today.
That's
and then
cool.
It was kind of like it was like a kind of a, it was one of those things where I was kind of intermixed with a lot of groups at once.
But you had like no issues in that sense, because there was just all white school, like it was.
I did not. But one of the girls actually approached me at the 20-year reunion, which was 2019. She was just like, "Hey, did you ever experience any issues with like stuff like that?" And I was just like, "No, not really."
Like racial issues.
But like racial issues or anything of that nature, just felt like you were kind of an outcast. It's like, no, I wouldn't say so. But like if I asked my other friends that were Indian, they're just like, yeah, hell yeah. And I'm just like, I don't know if playing sports played into that with, you know, because they didn't really play sports. I mean, they played basketball, but I think they played for near and that was it.
Yeah, maybe it's the charisma that you have, man.
Could be that too.
That goes beyond racial issues.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at the things I know now, man, high school would have been a different playing field. If I knew what I know now back then, because there was definitely some individuals that were taking interest, and I was too young and too stupid to realize it.
Yeah. And then moving forward, finished high school, and then you take a sabbatical year. You take the year off, and then you started.
I took a sabbatical year, and then
where'd you go, man?
I went to UIC. Are you talking about sabbatical between schooling, or are you talking about
what were you up
sabbatical
to? Yeah,
from soccer?
that year. Did you go and travel around the world a little bit?
Oh no. So I was talking sabbatical for a year away from soccer, but no, I went to UIC. Town
straight to it right after high school.
Yep, straight after high school, and it was one of those things where all my friends kind of applying for colleges and stuff, and I was kind of like, I guess this is the thing I'm supposed to do, is apply for colleges. And my brother had gone to Loyola, and I went to UIC, studied biology, and I think like halfway through the first year, I was driving down the street and I saw like one of my like friends from like growing up, like walking down the street. His name is Qasim, and he played soccer as well too.
So you were driving down the street in your
Red
AMG
Integra.
6.3
No,
Mercedes Benz,
no, it was a 1999.
sitting on 22s. What?
Yeah, it was a 1992 Acura Integra GSR that was like fixed up.
Sounds pretty nice, dude.
It was.
Nice
It was
Integra?
clean. What? 92?
Yeah,
99.
99 Integra. Okay.
Yeah, it was clean. It was
Was
noticed.
it beige? Was it like
No.
the white or?
No, it was red, and it had a it was carbon fiber hood. It had 18-inch, gold wheels on it that were like 10 pounds a piece. It was a clean looking Integra. It was not. It's good.
10 pounds a piece, Richard, means it's fairly light.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? You guys know Acura Vigors? That's like a common. It's a popular brand from that time,
I think in the 90s. Yeah, I think they had the Legends, the Acura Legends. They had the what else did they have?
I think Acura is just everything that's right in the automobile industry. Price, reliability, luxury.
I don't know about the prices now, man. I saw like one.
Did you see that new? Is it the new Integra? Yeah, they brought it back out.
Yeah, I saw the new Integra. Yeah,
that's $50,000 for that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Five.
That's bananas.
New Integra.
Yeah, it's also POS.
It looks really nice, though.
Really?
I think it looks really nice. Yeah, because we're talking about a Honda Civic Type R, or what is it? How much is that? Very close to that price as well.
The new ones, yeah.
Anyways, okay.
But,
so back to you were in UAC.
Yeah, so I ran into my buddy Qasim, and we formulated an indoor soccer team, and we actually started playing over at that Thrupin and Cermak field that goes up the ramp. And we played in there in indoor fields for quite some time until he tore his ACL.
Oh, damn.
7 years later or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he's okay now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was. He was good for a year and a half or two when he didn't play, and I kept on telling him because I was in grad school at the time, and I was like, dude, you need to do some exercise. You need to strengthen your legs, and he didn't. And he played one game, went straight back, and did it to the opposing leg, to the opposing knee. Same exact thing. It was with the turf fields where his cleat just got stuck. He turned.
Oh my God! Yeah. It's happened to me.
I feel like that's the story of a lot of people who just kind of fall off with athletics or any type of sport. It's just like a difficult injury, and then they just don't really have the determination to even try. It's just like, well, I have this thing with my knee. Happened in my 20s. Haven't played a sport since. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it all the time.
Yeah. No, yeah. Here and there. I don't see it that much. I'm sure one of the Kucheks probably sees it more than I do.
Yeah, maybe I'm just making people up. I'm just making people out to be worse than they are, lazier than they are. Love resilience.
So back to Yousef, Yousef now, man. You just moved. You're in a nice, beautiful suburban area. Nice home. He just redid his bathroom.
On his own?
On his own, man. Like, this guy is a very handy person now. So what's next for Yousef? What are we talking about here? Any new goals for this coming year? Are you gonna have your Ducati ready for next summer?
It's ready. It just needs
ready to be sold, bro.
Ready to just sit there. It's been sitting there, but I changed out the belts and I redid the valves, and it's ready to roll. It probably just needs a tune up, but it's one of those things.
You gotta bring it to the shop, bro. We got everything there.
What shop? You got a shop now too? The nail salon?
The
Presidential Boutiques, everyone. By the way, Just to plug it, right? Presidential Boutiques.
Presidential. That's a good name, but it's not it. It's Pride Nail Boutique.
Oh, that's what I get for just skimming it real quick.
Yeah. Now you gotta bring to the next step. Heating cooling shop. In the back we have a whole motorcycle mechanic shop for. We do everything.
Really?
There. Yeah, dude. We got a lift and everything.
Damn.
You got a lift?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bro. Let me lift it right here. You get comfy, you know. We do all the tune-ups.
Damn. That's dope.
Rafa's motorcycle is there right now, hanging out.
That's cool.
All right, I'm definitely gonna. I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, you take it. And then we help. We just all kind of work on it together. It's kind of fun.
Do you guys have stuff to mess with the air to fuel ratio? To tune it properly or no?
We do, but it's on a four cylinder on inline. We have that. But you have a Desmo. You have a Desmo, right?
The V-twin. So, yeah.
I don't know if we can fuck with that.
Well, we can find out.
We can go and find out. I mean, we can. Yeah, that's a nice motorcycle. Dude, I gotta go back to work. I gotta go back and I gotta do that thing. I'm still an immigrant. I'm still working through.
What is going on? You're redoing a bathroom?
My bathroom.
He was referring to you.
Referring to you, my bro.
Renovating
oh no,
bathroom.
I redid my bathroom at my rental property. Well, now rental property, but yeah, I saw the pictures of you like renovating a bathroom or something like that. Or is that for?
Oh, I went to. No. I went to a place. Dude, did you see the disaster on that thing?
I did. I did.
I went in.
I just went in because you were doing that. I was like, damn.
No, they were demoing that part of the house, and they're gonna reconfigure everything. And they called me because I work with the project managers and they're like, hey, the heat stopped working. So I was in the area and I went in the middle of the demo and it was just like, holy bro, damn, this place it was a nice picture.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, but quick bathroom reconfiguration. I thought,
I read it as you were doing it, but yeah, no. Okay, that makes more sense now.
I could totally do that, obviously.
So you need to finish finish a job that you started before the people.
No, I need to go back and switch something in the bathroom of the salon to make sure I pass final inspection tomorrow.
Oh,
because
gotcha.
the inspector showed up today when he was supposed to show up tomorrow, and that part wasn't ready, and then he actually made us switch something else, and he's going to be there tomorrow at 7. He's going to be there tomorrow, like between 7 and 9 a.m. And so I told the plumber to come back. I'll meet him at 10. I'll meet him at 10:30, and just work. He can work through the day because the shop was open until 8.
Damn.
Was it a big issue that needs to be fixed?
No. He needs to increase the pipe of the. Not just increase, but it's the floor drain coming from the basement that it's not there because he was supposed to be there tomorrow. So we got to do that. And but we got to switch some of the piping. So that's why it's actually way more work than he can do tomorrow morning.
I was going to say, it sounds like it is. He is going to be there for a few hours.
The plumber, he's really good. He's just got all over the place. I mean, he thought inspection was tomorrow, it's today.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What can you do?
So I'm gonna leave you to Richard, and hopefully you can finish.
We can do this.
Yeah.
Do
this?
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, we don't. There's always part 2.
Part 2, my guy.
Are you? You got some free time still? Though? You still all right?
Who, me? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. All right.
I'm good.
I'm good. I got the monitor. I'm on monitor duty now, so it could end at any moment. But
yeah,
all right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys be at it. Okay. I'll catch you in the next episode.
What? You have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't see you before then.
Thanks, man. I hope you have a happy holidays too, man. I hope you. Where are you celebrating? Your house?
Yeah. We're gonna go. We're actually going to Christmas morning. We're gonna spend opening our presents, and then for dinner we are actually meeting up with Frankie and Drew, and Luca at Lao Szechuan in Downers Grove.
Beautiful.
So
Wow.
That sounds
cool.
like a good
presuming
time, bro.
that plan still falls through. But yeah, I don't know. Every Christmas
No,
I always
well-
think of a Christmas story and having
Yeah.
Chinese dinner, and
That's good. I hope that goes through. We'll definitely push Frankie to not cancel on that one. Okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah, let us know, and we'll give some peer pressure.
All right, guys. Have a good
All
night.
All right.
You
All
too.
right. Drive safe.
Take care, brother.
Peace. Wait, is that place in Downers Grove? Is it Chinese?
Yeah, Lao Szechuan. They have quite a few. I actually originally I had messaged my other buddy, Sarosh, and I was like, hey, you guys want to go to Chinatown for Christmas? And he was like, yeah, totally down, 5:30. And we're just kind of like, I'm like, do I feel like going to the city again
Really?
on Christmas? And then I found out that they had one in Downers, so I messaged him and I was like, hey, you want to come out to the suburbs and go eat there? And I knew the answer was probably going to be no. And we had what did we do? We had hung out with Frankie and Drew and kind of brought that up a few weeks ago about like grabbing Chinese for a Christmas dinner. And Hannah told me that, like, yeah, she said she'd be down, but we kind of just didn't really think much of it. And then I was like, hey, let me follow back up with them on that. And they're like, yeah, we're totally down. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Lao Szechuan, there's one in Uptown, right? On Broadway.
There probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, that place
is.
is really good.
Yeah.
I think it's Hunanese or Cantonese.
Yeah.
Cantonese
I
cuisine,
don't know.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know this.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that part I'm unfamiliar with. But
So let's definitely resume the car conversation, because I can definitely hold my own as much as Boris was able to. You want to talk about like radiators and pistons? What do you got? How are your pistons?
But
You check them recently?
yes, I check them regularly, daily.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not an easy part to inspect. Like a scope, and you need to like pull off the head, and you need to stick a scope down in the engine. So
Essential though, you gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, but my piston rings are burnt out on the bends because it blows blue smoke out the back. But yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar problem back with my Chevy Suburban piston rings. Fucking pain in the ass, Yeah, 83 Bourbon. That's my first car.
Is that the first car you had in high school? A Bourbon?
Yeah, 83 diesel Bourbon. We had to it was on its last legs. We had to plug it in every night for its glow plugs. I didn't know what the hell that meant, but we had to take this long extension cord.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what glow plugs are, but they're essentially spark plugs, but for diesel motors.
Oh, okay. I just thought they were like related to glowworms, and I always thought it was really cute that we had to plug it in every night. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I don't want to talk about cars if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I know.
Felt bad that I was like on the video feed on the main screen on my recording, like this.
Just kind of sitting there, like
constantly rolling my eyes. How many times can I roll my eyes? But
yeah.
No, but we do have the Hot Wheels event on the horizon, and I think it's going to be a big hit on my end, because this guy is all construction vehicles.
Really?
Yeah, man, he is obsessed.
Did you guys get him anything for Christmas, like construction related vehicles, or?
We're trying not to let him know about Christmas in order to save on money. No, I'm just kidding. No,
honestly would not blame you.
Well, we've already said this is the last year that we can like take his gifts and then space them out for the next month, so that he's not just overwhelmed and exhausted by everything on the same day. Next year he'll probably be in on the scheme, but no, he has like a crane. He has all these different size little plastic movable construction trucks, and some accompanying books as well that he really likes. Is that listen to that stuff?
Yeah, he loves the garbage truck, so we picked up it's actually a recycling truck to be completely honest. But there's a blue recycling truck, and then there's a green garbage truck that we stole from a friend's house. We didn't steal, but like my friend, she was just like, "Hey, just take it. He likes it." And their kids are a lot older now, and they're both girls, so what are they gonna do with a garbage truck? So he loves that thing still. And Kagu Gagas, which are tractors.
Agu Gagas, that's his term.
Kagu Gagas, that's his term is Kagu Gagas, or for short Kagus, which are tractors, like farm tractors, like on a farm. So that's another thing that he loves. And then he just loves cars in general. Like they'll come downstairs and they're working with magnetiles, and he just wants to build garages. And I'm just like, I didn't even try to do this. It just kind of happened. So.
Yeah, there's quite a few things like that where it's like, I realize I'm not trying to push anything off on him. He's just my son, and I think he likes things that I like, and not necessarily construction vehicles, but there's a lot of other things where I'm like, oh, he really likes this. This is so cool. Like, well,
is he like picking a guy up and like climbing to the top rope and like body slamming him down, or what?
Actually, yeah. He does splashes onto pillows, and I've taught him to do this and then splash onto pillows. Yeah, I could definitely tell if I were to expose him to some wrestling, he would be all for it. But yeah, we'll see. We're gonna see his nephews or his cousins next week, and I'm sure they're gonna want to kind of wrestle with him a little bit. So he's gonna love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I actually told Boris when you were off the call, but he was complimenting my shirt, and I told him that it's usually stays in my closet because I don't wear it often. But Anna had me, the Sidekick shirts. Well, the one I'm about to show you is going to be very, very similar because it's the exact same thing. Anna didn't know I already had one, so she went to Sidekicks and got me one, same size and everything. So, so I was gonna say, it seems like fate that I don't need a second Sidekicks polo that I never wear. So I think you should be the owner of this thing.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too many other larges who have frequented Sidekicks that much. So, I mean, you wear large, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was more so. There's more meaning towards it besides just being a large. But
no, I said it was fate. You're on the call right now, and I know it's your birthday in a week plus, right?
Yeah, next Saturday. Good. You have it marked on the calendar? Or?
I have it emblazed in my memory, man.
Damn. Wait, so
I don't remember everyone's birthdays. She got it for me. I don't know when she picked it up, but I opened them tonight because we're leaving on Saturday morning for California. So we opened a few presents.
Fair enough. That is fate, then I guess I'll attribute that to that. But
exactly.
Yeah, you probably remember the birthday because of all the ridiculous parties I used to have for it.
That is actually why I remember it. And then my cousin Dan also has is it December 31st or 30th?
30th, yeah.
30th. Yeah, his is on 31st. So is there a 31st day in December?
Yeah.
30 days in September, April, May, and November. All the rest of 31, including December, I guess. You use that?
No, not for December at least. I actually don't use that for anything. I just kind of wing it and I look at the calendar. I don't care.
Well, I save time by memorizing the little limerick or whatever. Well, I can do it in like 8 seconds. I bet I can get through that little thing. But anyway, I felt like it was funny that Boris skipped 20 years in your history. He went from early college.
I was like, man, we're really jumping around here. He's like, I want to know what your mornings are like, and then when was the first time you played soccer, and then what was high school like? Probably like thinking I'm gonna sit there and gush about a bunch of girls or something. I have no clue. It's like, let's get to the juicy part.
No, so my thought was, all right. I mean, you got so many hobbies, and I feel like you just go get life in a way that I don't get life, and you are a bit of a adrenaline junkie. I mean, you have like your scuba license, you
Yeah.
skydive, you've done the hang gliding, you
I've done
have
hang gliding,
yeah, well,
paragliding.
the
It was
Columbia one.
paragliding. That was
Oh,
paragliding. Sorry, I'm
paragliding.
not trying to be a stickler, but yeah, that's paragliding. I definitely
Okay,
want to do
and
hang
you
gliding,
don't have your
but
height, you don't have your license or anything in paragliding, I guess, because you
I
did
don't
with.
know if they're. Well, I did it in Colombia, so I don't think that.
w- I
I
think,
don't even. That guy had his license.
and I think we need to. There's a separate podcast with that story alone, I think. Dude, every single one of these conversations, I'm just like, it feels frustrating that there are so many stories that just need to be told or things that need to be elaborated on. But with the initial podcast for each individual, you kind of want to
Yeah.
just create this like general profile of like this is
Yeah.
so there's going to be some more.
Some follow up, like story specific podcasts.
I think so. I mean, I
That
just want,
sounds cool.
yeah, I just like stories in general.
I do too. I
But
love them. They're always fun.
um, but with that said, I feel like this is my suspicion, is that you have some role models or people, well, it's kind of like the James Bond sort of
Yeah.
lifestyle. Like, are there
Yeah.
people who you have tried to emulate in terms of their worldliness and risk
No,
taking?
I don't. I don't. It's strange. It's weird. I don't know. No, it wouldn't be that there was anybody in particular that I would emulate. I think, as I've gotten older and as being a parent and seeing my child, and I think I think a lot of it had to do with like my childhood, and I think a lot of it had to do with just how eh, without being too, dramatic or sad, I feel like my whole life, at least in my head when I was young, was pretty abusive when it comes to like my father and I think part of that was kind of just always staying away from the house because I didn't want to deal with it, and I think that would be it because
Yeah.
there's never been a moment where I'm like, oh man. I mean, there's definitely some pretty cool like extreme athletes like Travis Pastrana and a lot of like skiers and snowboarders that do a lot of cool stuff and always want to do stuff like that. But I feel like part of it was just like always just wanting to be away from home to avoid potentially running into a angry dad situation when I was younger. But I think that's one of those things that doesn't quite click until I'm older when you see the frustrations that he may have had and he doesn't have the mental capacity or just the understanding of how to properly channel that,
Right. Or like the societal tools are kind of even
Correct. Yeah. Or
yeah.
even like the hobbies. It's like, okay, hey, like I'm burnt out, I'm tired. Let me go wrench on the car, or let me go and fix something in the house, or whatever it is at the end of the day. I don't really think he had those sort of creative outlets to be able to do that. So I don't
Or
know.
those like maybe or like cultural norms too, right? Like it's kind of like
Yeah, I mean
I don't
there's
know. You live in a world that promotes certain things for certain genders and things like that. Or I don't
yeah.
know. I feel like my dad is. I, I mean, I don't think we can relate it all in that way, but like there are ways. Like my dad wasn't expressionable in the way that I am. He just like kept
Mhm.
to himself and was very stoic. But he did have his hobbies and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of those things where I don't think that um my parents necessarily developed a healthy way of communicating um, things to either each other or to us as children. And I don't blame them for it. They're first generation immigrants. Like it's like that's what they're known. Like that's what they're used to. That's the world that they grow up in. I love them to death. But at the same time, like my brother hasn't really spoken to my parents in 10 years. So, I think it's hit a lot more harder as being a parent, where it's like, I get the trials and tribulations that you dealt with to raise us, and I feel more sympathetic towards that. It's just one of those things where you just kind of wish, you just wish you could have handled it better when we were growing up. But I don't hold anything against them by any means for it. So
what do you like those in terms of adrenaline sports and skiing and stuff? But what were your first exposures to that, and what?
So skiing was my dad, strangely enough, which skiing is not a thing in Pakistan, so he didn't grow up skiing either. So that was really cool. So I would say, part of it comes from my father, because that's kind of a big undertaking to move to, the States, and then kind of pick this up randomly out of the blue. Come over here, who's a radiologist, actually picked up skiing when he came here, and he brought my dad out and kind of showed him the ropes. And my dad would take us out when we were kids, and we would go to Wilmot, which is in Wisconsin, and we'd learn to ski there. So those are some pretty cool memories. And just remembering my dad, he would go from one side of the mountain all the way to the other side and go really, really slow going down the mountain, and me and my brother would just rip down. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty cool.
So your brother is as adventurous as you?
Yeah, I would say, he picked up flying. He's done skydiving. He switched over to snowboarding. He's picked up surfing.
And he's older than you, right?
He's 4 years older. He's a pain management doctor in Newport Beach. And he does really, 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 really well for himself. He texted him the other day, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, we bought a winery." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Okay, cool. Tell me more." And then just fell off.
And so that's kind of like the standard that he created for you too. A lot of it is like mimicry, or this is just the way that you live by doing these things, kind of.
No, he is, and me and Hannah constantly talk about this, because she's very active in trying to reach out to his wife and my sister-in-law, yeah, right, and my brother, and trying to be proactive with it, but it gets difficult, because it's not reciprocated. Mm-hmm. And he developed this sort of knack to just try to be the next Jeff Bezos, and more power to him. But, our priorities are different.
Right.
My priorities, friends and family. His priorities, I don't mean to talk bad about him, and hopefully, if you see this, he knows I still love him. But it seems like his priorities are more superficially, financially based.
But I'm more so meant that those things of going out there and learning.
New things. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was influenced heavily by him, though, right? Or maybe whether you know it or not, kind of thing. I just feel like one thing I always reference is my brother, sister, they got good grades. I didn't know anything else to get but good grades. I thought there was no other choice. You just get A's because my brother and sister got A's, and that sort of thing, where it's my brother liked basketball, I like basketball because he's my older brother, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I was the more athletic one. He was the more nerdy one.
Okay.
From that perspective, but yeah, he didn't grow up playing soccer. He didn't do all the stuff that I do. Actually, he started picking up scuba probably about 6 years ago, and he asked me about it because his wife wanted to do it too, and he's like, "Hey, what should we prep ourselves for?" Maybe 7 years ago.
Okay.
So no, I wouldn't say, I guess everybody has their interests.
Have you guys done that stuff together? Gone on trips?
Nope.
As brothers?
No, we did go to Disney. We did go to Disney last year. He came with us to Disney, but he also, in that regards, they have 2 investment properties, which are 2 10-bedroom ridiculous condos that are just like one's decked out in like a Harry Potter theme, which is just gorgeous. But they have 2 properties down there by Disney. Yeah. Yeah.
A Harry Potter themed 10-bedroom
house.
Shit.
Unless it's one of 2. And it's, like I said, more power to them, love them to death. But yeah, so we were going down there for Atlas's birthday, and we reserved our rooms at the Grand Floridian and told them all about our stuff. And they're just like, hey, why don't you stay at our house? And we're just like, we want to stay on property because it's easier to get to everything. Like we have a 1-year-old, like we can access like groceries, any time of the day sort of thing. It's pretty easy. We don't got to constantly go out and grab stuff or whatever. So unfortunately, during that trip, we probably saw them for like one day at the parks, and then like maybe a few hours I went over to both of the houses. So that was the last time. And then we invited them this previous time we went to Disney, and they were not able to make it. And we've been trying to coordinate with them, but it just kind of doesn't really pan out. They're just super busy, and yeah.
Is she also like a real estate professional or anything like that, or?
She's a nurse.
Okay.
So they actually had worked together at the doctor's office, and then they kind of branched out on their own and opened up their own surgical center. So,
Is she Pakistani?
She's Thai. She's from Thailand.
Okay.
First generation too. So like her parents immigrated from Thailand. So.
Wow. Any plans of having children then?
No. I think originally when they had gotten married, so this is technically my brother's second marriage, but yeah, when they got married, I think they had both agreed that they were not interested. But I feel like when they saw Atlas, gears kind of started to turn in my brother's head, and kind of saw how awesome it is to have like a little you,
right.
running around. But I don't think that his wife is ready to. She doesn't want to deal with the. She likes having them for the moment, not to, kind of have it all of their time. So,
sure.
Yeah,
that's
it's a lot of work.
I kind of always misidentify why Anna wanted to have a child after all. And it was, I always say it had to do with her business and the pandemic, but it was actually the thing that spurred it on most was her younger brother having a kid. And, her other brother had already had 3 kids, and it was kind of different generation. Like he had a much younger, but her younger brother, much younger brother. That's what it was like. Now that both of my siblings have children,
I feel like it's the time to have one.
Yeah, so that was definitely an influence.
Was it something where you guys had been talking about it for some time, and then that kind of clicked, or was it just like, hey, you know what? He had a kid, let's go for it.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like 3 of my best friends, actually maybe 4 of my best friends, are without a child and are very much in my same mold of like just being a little bit kind of go with the flow. Life is what it is. If your partner doesn't want them, then respect it and find your own happiness. And so I was kind of always like that. It's like I always tell myself, if I didn't have a child, I would be writing a book right now, or I'd be off on some other creative project. Like I think I would need to. But
that definitely would have not been me.
You'd finished one of your cars by now, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I would do.
That's everyone has different creative projects, but no, but it was definitely like when she said it, I was like, yeah, of course, yeah. Like I can handle this. I'm ready for this. I'm fucking around kids all the time anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that was one of those things when we had that discussion. It didn't quite scare me or startle me. I was just kind of the same as you. It's just kind of all like, okay, cool. This is what we're doing.
I always wondered though, like when you guys met, was that sort of something that was kind of talked about early on in your relationship?
About like wanting to have kids.
Yeah.
I'm sure, she'll know better than me. She'll have the memory for this. I don't recall. I think it was something where I acknowledged that, yeah, definitely. I would like to have kids one day. Not fully, realizing that this is probably going to be the woman I'm marrying, versus her story is like the minute I walked into Pops for Champagne, which is where we first met on our first date. She's like, the minute you walked in, I knew that was my husband. And I was just like,
You got a
cool.
very fatherly face, man.
Do I?
Yeah, you got that strong jaw. You're the Clooney, the Pakistani Clooney, right?
Right? Yeah, it's weird because there's sometimes where I'll kind of get a little I wouldn't say upset, but like I feel like I'll just get a little slightly annoyed with Atlas, and like for instance tonight he was being very combative, and he was just constantly whining and constantly crying, and like I'll come into the room and I'll kind of look at him and he'll just be like clam up all of a sudden. I'm just like, I'm not trying to even scare you, man. Like, what is it that does that? But yeah.
No, we had a really rough one last night. He was inconsolable for like 2 hours. It came out of nowhere. He hasn't had a night like that in a long time, but man, you feel like it's just so useless. And then,
yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Right. That's not going to interest everybody that's going to be watching this. But I reassure you guys, those that are watching, fatherhood is awesome. It is.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, I did queue up the game if you would be interested in playing Guess the Fella.
Guess the what? The fella?
Guess the Fella. Have you not been listening to the last couple episodes?
Yeah. So I watched Kenny, and then I watched everybody leading up to me. So I watched Frankie. I watched Tom. Who else was there?
Pondy. Did you watch Pondy?
Boris. I didn't.
Yeah, so you didn't watch Pondy because that was where the game show started. Did you watch the second Boris?
There's a second Boris?
There's a second Boris. The first Boris, I mean, Boris is a co-host. He's my
I
second
know.
half.
Yeah.
You notice how he did the intro today? I've never led anyone else to the intro. He did the intro. I'm really trying to give him some confidence,
Some responsibilities.
Yeah, I need him to step forward when I'm not feeling 100%.
Wait, so there's a Boris number 2?
Yeah, we did Boris reunion,
Boris?
where it's just me and Boris.
Fuck, damn. Yeah, no, I've been focusing on my parents, the house that I grew up in. Because my dad's like, hey, since you did such a great job with renting your place in the city and the other place in the city, why don't you undertake this place? And I'm just like, so I was pretty busy jumping in between work and going to and from there, which is like another 30 minutes from the house in Darien to Deer Park, and
sounds like 30 minutes when you could be listening to a podcast, but whatever.
I know. That's usually when I listen to is like if I'm going to work, I'll put my beats in, I'll in. But it's just one of those things where I've just kind of been like in the zone with music and just kind of, like, hey, okay, what do I need to do next with this house so I can kind of get it wrapped up. So, but thankfully that
no excuses necessary whatsoever. I like that you listen to music. When you told me that you don't listen to podcasts, I was like, man, there's somebody out there who doesn't listen to podcasts. That's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I did literally the first time I've been listening to podcasts is your podcast.
There we go. Oh, sorry for the terrible introduction, because there's ones that are a lot more entertaining, but this one's a lot closer to home, so that's what matters most.
For me, this is a lot more entertaining than anything else.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know what this is anymore, but Boris sent me a funny meme.
I'm not gonna lie that sometimes I would catch myself dazing off in Kenny's diatribes, but they were interesting.
Get
a little lost in them too.
Yeah. He's like a or not a Led Zeppelin, Grateful Dead concert.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it Fish? I
Love
was
it.
gonna say Fish. That's what I couldn't think of.
Fish. Yes. Yeah.
My
Right.
brother's a big jam band guy. Did you ever
Is he?
listen to jam bands?
I no, I wouldn't
I
say
know.
that I necessarily would. I mean, I grew up in Pearl Jam days. Did a lot
Is
of
that
Pearl
what?
Jam, a lot of Smashing Pumpkins, a lot of REM.
So
You
the
know,
best
music.
music, basically, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
when music was music, and it's often it's interesting now because even though Hannah's 10 years younger than me, even she agrees like the music it's just not the same. It's just not. And I don't know if that's just us getting older
It
or
is, yeah, it is.
is it like
I think
doesn't
so.
doesn't
I mean, I
doesn't
watched Billie Eilish on SNL last weekend, and it was pretty good.
she's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Olivia Rodrigo the week before that, I brought me to tears. She's so beautiful too, but very young. I can't really say people are beautiful when they're like 20 anymore.
yeah, you're too old for that.
Cool for that. If
Keep
they could have been
changing.
an older student of mine, I can no longer comment.
What's her name? Olivia what?
Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
Actually, it was really impressive because she did this live performance that was like a music video, and she did it, of course, in one take. Like she climbed up on this dinner room table and was like dining room table and was like throwing food and like smearing herself. It was pretty intense. And then it
Mm-hmm.
like pans out and it's just in the studio, in front of the live audience. It was
Uh-huh.
very cool.
Huh.
Um, yeah, so I overheard an eighth grader who's like a cool eighth grader talking about SNL at the beginning of the year. And then it put it in my head. I was like, man, the easiest way to stay in touch with modern culture is just by watching SNL every week because I don't watch any TV.
Still? That's crazy.
Well,
Because
because I
that was the
figured
thing
that,
that was the thing when I was in high school. It was like people were like SNL, and I didn't watch SNL, and we didn't really have cable growing up until we were like 16. So that was like
right.
96-ish, 97-ish, and everybody always used to talk about like what happened on SNL the week before, and I was just like, I don't know what anybody's talking about.
I,
But yeah.
I don't think it is like mass popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything really is mass popular behind like Fortnite and the occasional Netflix series, but like this kid is cool, and I was like, oh man, if this cool kid is talking about SNL, it kind of makes me want to watch it. So I've been trying to
Yeah.
catch it for the last like 2 months, and
Mm-hmm.
it's funny. Like some skits aren't funny, but I don't mind. They're still
A
like
lot
kind
of
of
shit aren't
cute.
funny. Yeah.
But some are like really funny where I'm like, ah, that is
Right.
so
Yeah.
funny because yeah, they just touch a vein of modern culture that,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if others are recognizing if I don't see this comedic
Yeah.
outlook on it. So
Yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of the skits are not funny, but then like there's that one that's like, damn, that was good.
yeah, I realize how good Kate McKinnon is because she was a guest host last week, and I
Mm-hmm.
never watched her in the whole Kate McKinnon era, and she's now off the show, but she came back as a guest, and her skits, it's like, oh yeah, she's really like a presence. She's a comedic presence.
Is she the one
Uh,
that was
she
in
was Hillary,
Ghostbusters? She was
yeah,
Hillary Clinton. Yeah,
Hillary
yeah, yeah.
Clinton, yeah,
Oh, 100%. She's
she's so
she's
funny.
good, but yeah, she's hilarious. Yeah, I love her.
Um, yeah, and then yeah, I don't know. It's brought me some entertainment satisfaction because normally if I don't put aside something to watch, I'm like watching goddamn wrestling, which I'm just burnt out on, and I don't know why I do it. That's so bad at
Did
times.
you ever watch In Living Color growing up?
Was that the one Jim Carrey was on it briefly?
Yeah,
I watched some skits.
briefly. No, he was on there for a
He's on
while.
there for a while. I
Yeah,
mean,
him
yeah,
and the Wayne brothers, they were on there.
it's,
Yeah,
yeah, there was a lot of sketch shows back in the 90s, right?
yeah,
I would
yeah.
see
So
it. It
that
was
was
on
one of the
Comedy
ones.
Central, right?
I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what station it was on, but that was more so what I used to watch was In Living Color because they had like Marlon Wayans on there. They had Jim Carrey on there. Not Chris Farley was on there. That's where Jennifer Lopez got her start as well. There's a lot of people that came out of there, and they had a lot of funny skits out of it. Like Homie the Clown. Homie the Clown was my favorite, and then Fire Marshal Bill.
In Living Color was like the one with the one with flavor, the one with like color, right?
With people of color, yeah.
I mean, the title says it. Because there was then the Canadian one, which is damn it. This was the one I watched probably most of all. It was on Comedy Central. Kids in the Hall. Did you ever watch Kids in the Hall?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and that's like the whitest show ever, but it's just Canadians. I mean, it's not even white, it's Canada. So it's like it's just such a different type of humor. And then there's SNL, of course, and then there was the kid version, which was it All That? You ever watch All That?
I recall the name, but I don't remember.
I mean, that's where Keenan and Kel got their start. So.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's fascinating that Keenan started his career in a kids sketch show, All That on Saturday nights. Child actors never.
Right, yeah, like Ryan Gosling. He was, wasn't he like on
maybe
or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Drake was on that was another Canadian show. It was a Nickelodeon Canadian show. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called. It was also Canadian. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah. That seems like that's a role model of yours.
If I was to say somebody, if there was ever somebody I would be if I was just like, hey, if I've ever met you, I actually told Cal this because he works in production. I'm like, dude, man, if there's ever a moment where you're doing something with Keanu Reeves, I'm the cameraman, I'm the boom mic, I'm whatever it is you need me to be. Like, I don't idolize him. I just feel like it's just one of those things to be like, hey, man, what's up?
You told Calvin this?
I did tell Calvin.
Is Calvin working with A-list actors? Maybe he is. I think
maybe. Hopefully he does. Optimism, man.
That's hilarious.
But
So. Yeah.
I think there was somebody that he was working with that prompted me to say that, though, because it was like he was working with somebody that.
Yeah, no, I kind of remember that. I think I was there when he was talking about it. Yeah, you still have to tell the story in a future podcast because it's a mouthful. It's the Miz encounter, because Tom was very awestruck when he learned that you had spent a night with the Miz.
Yeah, so I mean the way
you could say it now.
The way that you put it is a little weird, but
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, should I tell the story? Or?
Yeah, you could tell the story.
Okay. So my brother was he was living in Santa Monica at the time, and I was in grad school, and we would have a week to 2 weeks off in between trimesters. So for a couple of those breaks, I would just fly to Santa Monica and I would crash at my brother's place. And my brother was working. He was I don't know if he was doing his residency or if he had finished that up and was just working for a private practice at the time. But I was on break and he had to work. So it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, being a night owl that I am and kind of a club nut that I was, and bam, I kind of was like, all right, cool, I'll see you at
Wait, did you just slide that you still are a club nut?
I I'm not. I don't actually go out. It's just kind of like in the back of my head, it sounds great. And then I know if I go there, I'm just like, fuck this. Like, no, I'm done. This is game over. It's just, there's
got to be a residual curiosity after so many years of clubbing to just like think, what is it like right now? Being
and you go there and you want to shoot yourself in the head because you're just like, yeah, now I'm too old for this shit.
Right. Yeah.
There's actually quite a few times where I was like at Underground and I was just like 3 a.m. in the morning, and this has been like playing at 10. I was just like, I just wish I was playing soccer right now. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, this is ridiculous.
Well, you can't play at Sen at 3 a.m. though.
No,
that's the problem.
This is like this was like before I even met Hannah and like all this stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, you know, it was slowly fading out. I just didn't know it. But
Yeah.
So I used to, you know, kind of bounce out at night and hit up the random clubs, and there was like a club called Area that was pretty big at the time because of some, you know, reality shows out of Cali. I forget what they were. I don't know if it was like the OC or what, but
Laguna
used to hit that
Beach.
up. Yeah, like Laguna Beach, stuff like that. I used to hit those clubs up to the point where like they knew me at the door, let me in, didn't, you know, charge me cover, nothing like that. And then there was a club I went to that was off of Sunset, and I don't remember the name of it. And I only went there because I couldn't get into like the cooler one. And it was like easier to get into. There wasn't a long line, and I was just like having a drink at the bar. And there's this dude next to me who's like wearing a gray suit and like has this like blonde wig on. And I don't recall if it was around the time of Halloween or not. I don't remember. But I look at him and I was like, oh man, like you look like Mike from the Real World, like Mike the Miz. And he was just like, oh, it's because I am. And I'm just like, oh shit, what's up, man? So we just started like hanging out or whatever, and then I was just like, cool, man, like, you know, see ya, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette outside. And he's like, oh, I'll come with you. Like, do you mind if I bum a cigarette? I'm like, yeah, no problem, whatever. So we go outside and we're smoking a cigarette and we're just hanging out. And I think we go back in and we get a drink, and then they're like talking about like going to some like party in the hills. And I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be dope. It's gonna be like naked chicks all over the place, random people gonna be doing drugs all over the place. Like, this is gonna be awesome.
This is Mrs. Crew.
This is Mrs. Like, they weren't even like
Connections.
Like it was like almost like just randos that he just like randomly met that night or something of that nature.
Yeah.
So we exchanged numbers, and then he was just like, hey, we're gonna go to this party up in the hills, like, you want to come? I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do. Of course I want to come. I want to see a bunch of like hot naked chicks like running around. It's like, hey, here's my number, like, you know, I'll shoot you the address of this and that. And I had my own rental car at the time. So I messaged him, I confirmed the address, and I jumped in my car and I went up there, and I'm like, pull up to this house that's up in the hills. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. And like, I walk in there, and you ever been into like one of the houses that are in the hills? They're kind of like these older like ranches. So it's like you walk in and it like opens up. There's like a living room, a dining room, and there's like, you know, a family room, and there's like some bedrooms just over to the side. And they're all kind of like, the older ones are all kind of constructed in this way where there's like ranch style houses.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen enough of them. I'm imagining Once Upon a Time in the West, like the whole culminating scene or where they lived. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So we roll in there, and you know, I go in there, and I'm just kind of like, there are these guys that are playing like Guitar Hero, and I'm just like, what? This is what I came up here for? And like, there's a pool in the backyard, and we're just kind of hanging out there, and I'm just kind of smoking cigarettes, and these all had you like hitting like a ball of duct tape with like a baseball, and I'm just like, what? And like, there's a couple of really attractive women there, like above my league, sort of thing, and Miz is talking to them, and I'm just kind of like, I'm just like there, like I was just like happy to be there, but also I was just like, why am I here? This is not imagined. So I'm just kind of like minding my own business. Obviously, like, these guys are all like people that worked at the clubs or like bouncers or whatever they are, and they're just playing the guitar here in the corner. And I think like after like a hour of this, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, maybe I should just go. So I just tell Mike, I'm like, hey man, like, I'm just gonna bounce, like, I'm just gonna head home. He's like, you know what? Me too. You know, I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like talking to this like smoking hot chick. Easily like 9, 10 out of 10. Like, she was definitely a model. And she was all about him. and he was just like, I was just like, hey man, like what about the girl? Like you know, nah, don't worry about it, we're good. I'm just like, what? I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, I'd stick around for her, but that's your call. He's like, yeah, you mind dropping me off at home? I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So I drop him off at his apartment, and he's just like, hey man, like I have a show out in Chicago in like a week or two or something like that. He's like, you should shoot me a message, I'll get you tickets. And I was like, all right, cool. I never did because I'm not really big into wrestling, and I was like, I don't want to bother him with that. Like,
yeah, right. Reach
kind of
out.
silly. If I was like a super like big wrestling fan, I'd be like, hey, yeah, man, like, can I get those tickets or whatever? But
Yeah, right.
I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to bother him. But funny enough as it is, when I was watching that podcast with Tom, I like checked my phone because I was like, I'm pretty sure I still have his number, and we call it if we wanted to. And I was like, I wonder if it'll go to a voicemail and be like, hey, this is Mike, or it's just like phone no longer
You
in
should,
service.
man. He's still active. You got to hit him up for some tickets when he comes into town next time around.
Should I call the number and see if it still works?
Yeah, just say, hey, man, this is Yousef. Remember
No, I meant like
10
live
years ago?
here.
Call it right now. I'm so shy. That'd be so embarrassed. Yeah, you do all the talking. I'll listen, but he could be sleeping or something. He's gonna be upset.
It's 8:49. You think that man is sleeping at 9 o'clock?
You don't know where he is. You think he could be on the
Maybe
road.
we'll save it for another time.
Oh man. Well, you could do it. I mean, that's an adventurous thing.
See if you can.
What's it? I can't see the. Oh, there it is. Mike the Miz. Oh, there it is. There's the proof. You don't just put that in your phone.
I'll block out the number. Yeah, I'll block out the number just for his safety. I don't want all of a sudden Tom's gonna be texting him and be like, "Hey, bro, biggest fan."
I mean, Tom's at the gym with CM Punk regularly, so he's grazing celebrity in the wrestling world. I don't know if you know who that is, but
no, I have no idea.
He's a big name, a much bigger name than the Miz actually.
Really? So, what's his name?
CM Punk. He's like a Chicago cult hero.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks, man. I hope Tom appreciates that. I was joking in our prep WhatsApp group that little Tom Kuchek's going to be listening to this on Christmas morning after his morning AM gym session. So,
well, hopefully he looks at the video too at the same time and sees the name stored in the phone.
Yeah, he's going to be calling the Miz first.
It's a 216.
216. He's from Ohio.
216. Is that Ohio?
I don't know. He's from Ohio.
Let's see here. Where is he from in Ohio?
Oh, I don't know the specifics.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's from Cleveland.
There we go.
That's right. There's just confirmation upon confirmation that story is legit.
Yeah, it was a cool story. It wasn't a fun story as I thought it would be, but it's definitely pretty cool because he was.
I thought there was something about him. You left something out. Didn't he have like a broken rib at the time, and you adjusted him?
Yeah. So as I was saying, I was like, I used to watch The Real World and Road Rules a lot, and he was like one of my favorite characters on it. Not so much to the point where like if I saw him out, I'd be like, oh man, like what's up?
You didn't mold your life around him like Keanu Reeves.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
So when we were walking back to my car, he was like, "Oh, so what do you do in Chicago?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in chiropractic school." I think at the time, I was in chiropractic school, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm studying to be a chiropractor." He's like, "Oh no way!" He's like, "I always get this rib; it always pops out. Like, can you put it back in for me?" And I was just like, "We're fucking drunk. Like, sure, let's give it a go." Like, we hadn't even learned how to adjust at the time. I don't think, like. I don't even think that we had even learned that those are ribs, and I was just kind of like, yeah, let's just give it a go. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And like we were drunk, and there was a random like pole that was attached to like one of those chainmail fences, and I was just like, let's give it a go. Kind of like I do with Kenny, if you ever see me do it with him. So yeah, so
improvise on the spot with whatever's around.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I don't want to say, I think I think from my recollection, he was like, oh yeah, that was the spot. So, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's our previous mention of Fabio in this podcast, but I feel like I can imagine Fabio's voice and when the Miz is asking to be adjusted by a
Saying what?
by an amateur chiropractor. Just like the Miz is kind of the same way. He's just kind of a good-natured guy, right? He's always up for a good time. Kind of like whatever, go with the flow type.
Yeah, 100%. That trio would have been interesting in LA if we had spent some time there.
I don't know if you listened to the Jez episode, but I think I made mention of if he were in his prime alongside you and Fabio, that would have been a killer.
That would have been
threesome.
interesting. It would have been yeah. I mean, there'd be some nights where people would have to take one for the team, and it'd probably have to be like a rock paper scissors on those nights for
you guys would kind of span. You guys would have a very very international look,
Yeah.
It's like, who are these?
What's going on here?
Men?
Yeah.
All right, so you don't know about the game, but I'm gonna tell you about the games right now.
Yeah.
So the first one is Guess the Fella, and you're gonna get 4 clues sequentially, and after each clue you get to guess somebody. And if you guess correctly, then you get a number of points based on how quickly you guess that person. So this fella, the first one is their favorite English language movie. You probably remember filling out this questionnaire.
I don't.
Well, you did fill it out, but
okay, cool.
This individual's favorite movie is A Beautiful Mind. So which fella of the 33 on the group answered A Beautiful Mind? Have you seen the movie?
Not me, is it? Yeah, 1,000 times.
Oh,
it's
the
one with John Nash, right?
Yeah, about John Nash, right? Who's the actor? The actor is Crowe, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So much so that I forced Hannah to watch it. And she was like, "That was a great movie." It was. She's a big reader
story too, right?
Yeah, she's a big reader, and I'm a big visual person. So a lot of storytelling I get is through movies, and I get that stories. I get that books will have a lot more information in them. So much so that when I watched The Kite Runner, I realized I was like, I need to read the book on this because there's a lot of stuff that's left out, and I'm glad I did. A Beautiful Mind, I would have said myself, but so if I guess and I'm wrong, you just continue on with the next one.
Just next question, yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. Marv.
No, not Marv.
Damn.
I took a game theory class in college because I was an economics major, and I remember he referenced Steve Nash quite a bit in that course.
John
Nash, sorry, Steve Nash. Steve Nash went to Santa Clara though, so
Nash
that was the basketball player,
Yeah.
Canadian, good Canadian. They've been brought up a couple times. Oh yeah, okay. Canadian went to a small Jesuit high school or college in California, and then goes on to become 2-time NBA MVP, much to the dismay of many who thought Kobe deserved it in those years. But anyway, I never saw the movie. All right, this guy's favorite musical artist.
You never saw Beautiful Mind?
No, I just don't
watch it.
Yeah, you say that, but I don't watch movies, and I just. I mean, I like them. See, this is the thing. My relationship with the movies is so complex. I feel like I'm too far behind to catch up, and that discourages me from ever sitting down to watch one.
So I'll give you. So I'm a big movie guy, but
I know, yeah.
I'll give you some that was like you're not behind. They're just very well made movies, and it's great storytelling.
Well,
So,
I
A
get
Beautiful
that,
Mind is
but
one of them.
yeah, I understand that. But I watch A Beautiful Mind, and then I realize how much I enjoy it, how much I take from it, how much I'm motivated by it, and then it gives me this complex of all of the things that I have been without. So it's just gonna
Not
bring me
being British.
sadness, and yeah,
What? All right. Continue.
it's gonna be give me real FOMO. Anyway, yeah, I think you'll get it off this one potentially. Favorite musical artist or group, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
There's a direct reference to this in your past, which should inform your answer. But if not, man, it's just a matter of memory. I know fatherhood takes away a lot of memory.
A direct correlation.
Well, you have a memory. You should have a memory that would give you the answer to this question. But if that memory no longer exists, then we can blame a number of factors. Yeah.
Huh.
You don't sing often, but when you do, you sing Aerosmith.
No, I didn't. I sang Nirvana.
I'm not talking sidekicks. I'm talking on another occasion.
Yeah, that one occasion it was Nirvana.
Yeah, I'm not talking about sidekicks though. I'm not talking about
No,
Alice's.
I know. You're talking about the place that's off of. You talking about Allison's?
I'm not talking about a karaoke bar whatsoever.
You're not talking about the place that we went to off of Clark or whatever that was?
No, that was Hidden Cove. I'm talking about. Was that off of Clark? Oh, that was Lincoln Karaoke. Not the karaoke bar.
Huh.
I'm talking about pre-pandemic.
Aerosmith.
The weekend before the pandemic hit the world, the last gathering before lockdown.
Huh.
What were we doing?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't remember.
All right, just give me a guess then, because
okay, I'll give you a guess. I'm gonna assume that it was. I'm gonna guess it's Kenny.
Kenny Aerosmith. They're way too They're way too basic for Kenny. Kenny had to have said like somebody from that played at.
No, I know. Yeah, when you say that, it makes. I'm trying to think of who would have been there the weekend before pre-pandemic.
Well, they weren't there. That's the thing. But let's move on. All right. What is your favorite sport to play outside of soccer or futsal? And this person replied, tennis.
Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Damn.
Do you get the Aerosmith though?
No.
Oh, come on, bro.
What was it? What was it?
We made the video of us singing Aerosmith for his wedding party that was taking place in Argentina days after the gathering at my place, where I led people into the bedroom to sing. Sing with me, sing for you, sing for life. I don't know where that video exists. I think it's like a private link on my YouTube channel, but maybe I'll put that in the show notes. I should put it in the show notes. There we go. There we go.
You do that. So how many points do I get for that? 0?
No, you get 1.
Damn, so Beautiful Mind is his favorite movie, huh?
Yeah. He's a complex guy, dude.
New level of respect.
Yeah. I didn't have respect for him until I learned that. So
I mean, I had respect for him before that. It's just like a movie level of respect.
Movie level of respect. What had you anticipated? Messy documentary.
Right. Number 10. Whatever.
His favorite soccer player of all time, Zidane. His favorite manager of all time, Scaloni. Yeah, Scaloni.
Wait, his favorite player of all time was Zidane?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
His first love. I think maybe Messi is kind of overtaken, but that young love, nothing can beat it.
That's what I respect about him is he stays true to where it was at. He knows. He recognizes like, hey, like Messi's my guy, but Zidane was my first love. I respect that.
You were on the Really United team, right? With Veronica and everything, the LTS team.
I don't remember if I was on that team or if I was just subbing.
You might have even been on an opposing team now that I think about it. Did you
I
have
was
one
on
of
two
the
teams? I remember I was on two teams at one point in time in the same league, and it was like would be days where I'd have to like decide like who do I play with today.
Did you have a blue tank top?
I did, yeah. I did have a blue and I had a red one, yeah. So yeah, I played for both.
What do you remember what your tank top said?
No, I don't.
That was one of my proud.
Social? Wasn't it a kick at social?
No, it was LTS. We had tank tops. That was one of my proudest managerial decisions I ever made, was to have tank tops made, because I'd never seen a soccer team with tank tops. I just really wanted to show off my arms, obviously, but
these guns. Check out these guns.
You want to hear something really funny? And I wonder if Boris will remember this. So Boris, me, Veronica, and Veronica's sister. This is the first time ever I'd hung out with Boris outside of a soccer context, like just even after we played, which was the occasion. And the four of us went to go to George's Ice Cream in Andersonville, and we get our ice cream, we eat our ice cream, and we're all wearing our blue tanks. And an older woman, probably like in her 50s or something, she comes up to me and she says, "I just wanted to say that you have some of the greatest arms that I've ever seen," like, or something like that. It was just like, what the hell just occurred there? Some old woman came up to me and complimented me on my arms, but
yeah, but you've been playing. That's part of your highlight reel. You
gotta
definitely.
Be the truth. My wardrobe changed dramatically after that moment.
Mid-70s, and be like, yeah, this girl in Andersonville told me my arms looked great when I was like mid-30s. It was awesome. Best day of my life.
I still do plenty of shoulder exercises to maintain the
You
truth.
You do a great job of I don't know what your workout regimen is, but just commending you on
It's
that.
no longer Pamela Rife, I've let her go.
How painful was that?
I just felt with like impending fatherhood, I think that's when I eased up on her.
You didn't want when Anna, little Richie to see you like watching.
I think it was more so like Anna's bloated and becoming larger with pregnancy, and then I'm watching a fitness model on the TV and acting like I'm only using her moves as my instructional reason. Anyway, he lists his favorite game of all time as the most recent World Cup final, Argentina, France. I wonder why.
That was yeah. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of games, but that was a pretty awesome game.
That was really awesome. You were at Marvis's, right?
Yeah, we were all there together, and I had friends that had never watched. There. Yeah, but I had a lot of friends that have never watched soccer that watched that game, and I told them like this was up there. Like, you'll never see a better game.
No, you probably won't, right?
No, in our lifetime,
given the circumstances and the narrative. All right, so this next game, I'm going to run off a list of clubs that this individual has played for, and then you're going to guess the player, and you can ask for one of the teams that they played on, and I can tell you the years that they played on them. And I realize you're not a huge viewer of the games, so I'm giving some easier ones, so consider that. You might be able to get it.
I heard you say clubs, and I thought you meant maybe the clubs that they went to in Chicago, but no.
That would have been brilliant.
That would have been. You're like, hey, this guy was at Underground in 2010, post CONCACAF or whatever it was.
What is it? Who's Joachim Noah? That's who I always think.
Yeah.
Didn't you see him out a while? Wasn't he
No,
a
no,
Paris
no.
club?
So
regular?
there was one night. No, there was one night where we went to Underground, and I remember Fabio was texting me that I think U.S. I don't remember. So I don't remember if it was the U.S. that won the cup, the CONCACAF when it was in Chicago. Right? It was in Chicago, right? 1 year, like.
Oh boy, the Gold Cup. They beat
The Gold
Mexico.
Cup.
Is that the one?
Yeah. That was the one. So he was out one night at Underground and he came across those guys or somebody that had a trophy or something. But
oh, jeez.
I came across the Stanley Cup guys at Underground once. I don't remember what year that was, but yeah, it was with Kane and those guys.
Yeah,
so
they had they had back to back, I think, right?
Yeah, they had back to back. I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but yeah, I remember one of them. And I was like, no clue who the hell they were at the time.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I was hanging out with one of them, and I don't remember who. I don't remember the tall guy with the dark hair. He was like the captain. I forget his name, but him. I was hanging out with him for a little bit, and then like, cool, man, congratulations. Like, he was just total like country boy. You know.
Yeah, hockey players.
Yeah.
Hockey players are some down to earth individuals, I think.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that was like my fourth, fifth year when they won those Stanley Cups, and I did not appreciate the magnitude of that occasion. I think it was like, all right, these guys are going around the city. I just didn't watch any of it. I should have gotten swept up in it. I remember actually after those LTS games, there was that Redmond's bar that we would go to right after, and I remember like that was the era when the Hawks were doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna fly through this list, and you're gonna guess the player. You'll get it too. All right. This player started their senior career, Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, the second team. Then they went to the first team, Bayer Leverkusen. Then they went to the San Jose Earthquakes, where I will say I watched them play while they were there. Then they went to the LA Galaxy, and then they had a short spell in Mexico at León, and then they ended up at the San Diego Sockers before retiring after a 20-year career. Big teams were Galaxy and the San Jose Earthquakes.
Was it Beckham?
This is too good. This is too good.
It shows you how much I actually watch.
No, I love it. Though. I love it. I'll give you one more guess.
Henri?
Hold on to that answer for later, okay?
Okay, Kaká.
San Jose Earthquakes, LA Galaxy, 2 MLS teams. This is Major League Soccer in the United States of America.
Fuck LA Galaxy. I know what it is. I don't know who came there. I don't remember. And you're gonna say the name, like, oh yeah, I know who that is. I don't know when they went there. I have no clue. I didn't watch.
All right. This is Landon Donovan.
Yeah,
Captain America.
Wouldn't have known that.
Actually, I'm not sure if his name is Captain America. I think that's Christian Pulisic's nickname. All right, here we go. This next player kind of looks like a troll. I don't know. I'll give you just that.
The Hulk.
It looks like a. It's
like
kind
a troll,
of
like
his face is kind of compressed.
Like hair or like
no,
Shrek?
Not his hair. His Shrek. He looks like Shrek. His face is compressed, and these were his teams.
So
Everton. Not the Hulk.
Yeah, I don't even know what his name is.
Or are you guessing Hulk the player?
The Brazilian.
Oh, the Brazilian. Oh no, that's not it. But I like that you know who Hulk is. That's I should give you a point.
Because I've been compared to him. That's why.
I could see that. Yeah.
No.
Another strong jaw. He likes to maintain lines in his beard, I think, when he has one.
It is funny. I just I found some barbers out here that are Jordanian, And each time I've gone in there, I've been like, hey, just cut the top. And they're like, hey, you want to do the beard? And I'm like, no. And then last time, the time before last, he's like, hey, do you want me to wax your ears? And I'm just like, I've been slowly like inching my way into each step. And so he, like, the first time they did my hair, the second time they did my hair, and they waxed my ears. And the third time, I let him do my beard. And it was funny because I looked in the mirror and I was like, damn, I look Arab. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, given current circumstances. But then I came home and Hannah just kind of giggled to herself because she, you know, I was like, I look like I'm Arab because it's all cut down.
Yeah.
It was a lot cleaner than it is now, but
it's still pretty clean. I could see it.
But normally I just
it's like you could skate on that ramp.
Right.
It's very smooth across.
But
all right.
Continue.
Okay, here's his career. This Hulk-like guy. Everton, Manchester United, Everton, DC United, another MLS team, and lastly Derby County. His main one was Manchester United, 393 appearances between 2004 and 2017. England, there you go.
Boom!
Look at this guy.
It's the game of the years.
He's a genius.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh man.
He's a fun player.
All right. You know what I'm talking about with that scrunch face now? He's got a son making his way through the ranks. I think he's U13. Yeah, U13. Manchester United. He just had like a goal scoring record for the youth team, or that for U13 for a season. So it could be good because Wayne Rooney's wife is a England international female player.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
a famous one too. I don't know her name, but one of the best. All right, so we'll give you a point there. All right, last one is
sorry, remember, give me 2 seconds.
All right.
Give me just 2 seconds.
Sure.
I was trying to get Oken to come down, but he didn't want to.
Oh man. How's he doing?
He's great, man. He's doing awesome. So I know Hannah had posted some pictures. Oken. He had an enlarged spleen. He had a mass on his spleen, and sorry, just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll keep talking. But he had a mass on his spleen. We took him in for an emergency vet visit, and they did splenectomy, so they removed it. Okay, come here. Okay, come here. Goose, come on. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. So yeah, so they did the splenectomy. They removed his spleen. Unfortunately, come here, buddy. Come here. They removed his spleen, and unfortunately, pathology report came back, and it is hemangiosarcoma. Come here. Hey, buddy. Unfortunately, it's hemangiosarcoma, and the thing with they removed the spleen, and they didn't find it anywhere else, so he's good for now. The thing is with it is that it could be one of those things where it's just one day he just doesn't want to get up and can't get up because there's just a mass of blood that's pooled in an area. So just loving him up and giving him as much food as possible, and he's loving every minute of it, which is awesome. She started incorporating sardines with it, and he's been loving that too. But yeah, he's doing pretty healthy. He's taking some pills that are chemo pills, and we did a panel which can kind of identify the cancer a little bit more confined, so that they can prescribe a drug that is more tailored towards that particular genetic marker. So yeah.
Wow.
But anyways,
No, it's
Back to
I'm happy that he's gracing our presence because there's however you say that. He's the first animal on the podcast, so we're lucky to have him.
yeah.
He's a good one.
Yeah,
All right, so I said to kind of keep that previous answer in your back pocket. Here we go. Monaco B, Monaco first team, Juventus, Arsenal, Barcelona, New York Red Bulls.
Thierry Henry.
There we go.
Oh, damn. See?
Genius. Yeah.
Genius.
Do you ever watch have you ever seen him on well, it's not the Galazzo program, but the CBS panel? He has like Micah Richards, him, Jamie Carragher, and this what's her name? Jamie Edno?
Honestly, the only time I've seen him on a panel is on Ted Lasso. That's
he's in
on
that?
there. Yeah, he's in
Okay.
Ted Lasso. Yeah, you haven't watched it?
No, I still haven't watched it.
Oh yeah, you should watch. Jesus Christ, man!
You could say it about pretty much anything. You should watch that because I've watched nothing.
Individual, like, film is a form of art.
No, I know, man. I love film more than most people. I was in like multiple screenwriting courses in college. I love film, and that's why I can't watch anything because I know that I'm missing so much.
Ridiculous.
Dude, it's hard being me. Just kidding. It's not hard being me at all. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so he's on like I liken it to like inside the NBA with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie, what's his name? But you know how they kind of just they're off the cuff. They don't have a script. It's like the new footballing version of that after Champions League games. They're just kind of like bullshitting and ribbing each other and all this stuff. But Henri's kind of the straight man of the group. He's like the most respected one.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, not bad. We'll give you.
So
We'll say you have
that was all the questions.
That was no, and then there's one more. So in this one, this is going to be tough for you, but maybe you'll get it. In this one, I tell you the substitutes and goal scorers in a match, and you have to identify who was playing and what the context
who the player was, or what do you mean?
What teams were playing.
Okay.
And then like what year this was.
Pass.
Okay. So we'll see. Okay. So the first action of the game is a goal, and it's in the 8th minute by Brian McBride.
Okay.
There's a substitution in the 28th minute. Luis Hernandez comes in for Ramon Morales. After halftime, it's 1-0, and another substitution. Sigifredo Mercado comes in for Manuel Vidrio. There's a number of yellows, but then there's
Were we at this game?
No, we're not at this game. Another substitution, Ernie Stewart comes in for Josh Wolf in the 59th. And then goal in the 65th minute, Landon Donovan scores.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
so my guess is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be the teams that were playing.
Teams that were playing and what year this was, and if you know like the context, if this was a tournament or something. Then there's a couple more substitutions. Aspe comes in for Torrado, and then a substitution. Kobe Jones comes in for Brian McBride.
Jones, man, I haven't heard that name forever.
I'll say there's a red card. Rafael Marquez gets a red in the 88th minute, and then there's a final substitution. Carlos Llamosa comes in for Pablo Mastroianni.
So I'm going to say USA versus Mexico.
All right, there you go. You get a point for that.
Damn. In, what is it, 98 then?
No, not quite.
90. 2002.
2002. All right, I'll give it to you.
Damn.
And
then what was the last one?
The last one's actually the managers. I don't even know the managers. I can find out right now.
I would. Yeah, no, I'm only guessing because of Kobe Jones. Cause I remember Kobe Jones, '94 Cup. Like he was a big name. And I remember that like there was a big soccer ball outside of the Sheraton in downtown Chicago. And I remember I have a ball that has like a bunch of flags from different nations on it too.
Oh, there you go. So all right, I actually
which was a shitty ball,
decent,
by the way.
chose a decent game to recall some memories. Then.
Well, I mean, I figured out the USA based off the names, but then the other side, I kind of was being racist and figured Mexican.
Did you? So do you know when they played in the 2002 World Cup? Do you remember what? So this was USA's first quarterfinal in like the last 50 years. So they beat Mexico in the round of 16, which Mexico has gone out in the round of 16 for almost every World Cup. But this is the famous dos zero. So dos y cero, the 2-0 score line that was often chanted in crowds to rile up the Mexican fan base. But managers were Bruce Arena, who I remember for the U.S., and
Jay. Google this because you didn't know.
It's in this one. I can see it now.
Oh, it's okay.
Jay Aguilar.
Yeah. Aguilar. Yeah,
so
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched this. It was one of those because it was in South Korea, Japan. I'm not sure where this was. It looks like it was in South Korea, that World Cup. And I remember this was on at 2 a.m. Pacific time, something like that, 1 a.m. Pacific time. And I remember staying at my friend Jared's house to try and stay up to watch it, but we ended up falling asleep and then missing the entire thing.
Yeah.
Shows what real fans we were. Not much at all, actually.
I mean, you tried. Hey, for effort.
Yeah, we didn't try hard enough. We didn't really care. I don't think I'd ever watched a full game of soccer at that point in my life.
Drink some Red Bull?
No Adderall or anything like that. But yeah, so we'll give you 2, 3, 4.
I'm gonna read the bottom of the
6 points.
I don't really care. Is it?
These are all made up points anyway.
Okay. What's the who's got the most points? What's the highest points right now?
Jonah. I think Jonah is edging out Pondy. Jonah his recall is scary. It's almost like he's in like the field of academics or something.
He's one not to be underestimated. I will say that. He's definitely he surprises me, which I shouldn't be surprised by, but yeah.
Yeah. So now he'll never surprise you because
he'll
never underestimate. Yeah.
Once you're a geek, you're always a geek.
Yeah. If he doesn't know something, it'll be disappointing.
Right? Jonah, you don't know? What?
You don't know how to speak Zulu? Mind? Like what?
That'd be funny if he came one day who's just like, yeah, I can speak Zulu. Like, fuck you. I hate you.
That's the thing with language. Like once you get a couple, then it's like easier to learn the third, and then everybody else who just knows one, you just hate them that much more.
But you're talking about like African languages.
No, I know.
So much more complex. Like I took 2 years of Arabic, and that sucked. Like
what? No, of course, like Slavic languages. If you learn one, it's going to be easier. Latin languages, but even across that, I think there is something to be said for if you're bilingual, a third language that is outside of any of those contexts might still be easier.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's plenty of times where I see Atlas speaking English, and I'm like, fuck, I should really be speaking Spanish to him. Like, I don't know Spanish, but I should just say some Spanish words and associate with that.
Unless you're speaking it from what I've heard, unless like you are using that as your main mode of education, primary way of communication, then it's kind of unnecessary. Yeah, pointless.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, the norm has been to end the call on the end of the game, but yeah, thanks for sticking it out.
Yeah, well, apologize about earlier. Yeah, the in the suburbs isn't quite like it is in the city. It just randomly cuts out here and there, and I don't know when. But appreciate you guys being patient with it.
No, we've had a run of bad luck. Jonah's had some technical issues too, but again, I think it might be the platform. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it was pretty funny seeing him just be frozen and like listening to him speak, and I was just like, "Fuck, this is weird."
Yeah. It gives us the challenge of being improvisational, so that's always fun.
Yeah, how was that improv while I was MIA?
That was good.
It sounded like you guys were able to carry that on for some time.
Yeah, luckily Boris and I have had a few conversations, so we feel comfortable enough around each other. But
that's good. So
yeah, but yeah, man. Happy holidays, and if I don't talk to you, happy birthday. What are you turning, by the way?
What?
What are you turning?
Am I turning? It is.
You don't need to say it.
2020. It's 2023, so I'll be turning 43.
43. Oh, it's easy to remember.
Yeah, so 43.
You're 80?
Yeah. 80, yeah.
Okay, you just missed out on the esteemed 81 class.
Yeah. So I always just calculate it. Like after 30, it's like I gotta sit there and count, and I gotta sit there and sort it out. And then 40 hit, and then after that, I gotta sit there and like 1980 minus 2023 based on December 30th. Like it's
the math teacher at your high school wasn't too hot, was she?
No, he was a dude. It was Mr. Zazadil. Mr. Zazadil. He was also the football coach. Although at Lake Zurich there was an incident of I don't want to get too graphic, but it was misconduct, yes, with the football team and some issues with upperclassmen sodomizing the underclassmen, which is never a good thing, regardless. But for being a soccer player and being called a grass fairy for so long, football players, I had to reach out to my friend Frank Bellini, who was a football player at the school, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" And he's like, "That didn't happen when I was there," and I was like, based on the timeline, it does. But yeah, you have to get the last one in.
I mean, I'm happy that we got some sodomization on this call. It's only a matter of time. I mean, what did male podcast evolve into eventually, right? Boris sent me the funniest meme, and it was so embarrassing, but it's so accurate. It was just like this tempting cartoon face of like, and then the text was middle-aged men trying to resist the urge to start a podcast. But I keep telling myself ours is different because we're not trying to become famous. We're just doing it for friends. So it's not.
We're doing it for fun. They're doing it for friends and
doing it for fun. We're not reviewing movies or anything. Although, who knows? Maybe we should review Beautiful Mind.
You should watch it, man. It's a great movie.
I do have, it's winter break. I should.
You should.
I should.
It's an amazing. That and Gattaca.
Gattaca?
If you like genetics, Gattaca. Yeah, it's really cool. Although that's like one of my favorite movies.
I'm German. I love genetics so much. Just kidding. That was a terrible joke.
That was, given the current times, that was.
Well, hey, everybody's obsession. I haven't. Listen, I'll tell you, I've never done 23andMe, anything like that. I'm not obsessed with genes.
I did, yeah, and I saw that thing come up recently. I was like, fuck. But
Oh, what's that thing come up recently?
they had a
Oh, they
lot. They had a
stole
data
data.
leak.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a data
I did
leak.
hear about
Yeah,
that.
a data leak. Yeah. So
Um,
it's funny though, because in my 23andMe, the thing that stood out the most was that genetically, the genetic composition is that elite muscle mass or something like that, elite muscle athlete or something like that, where I conveyed this information to my friends that don't play sports or anything like that, and just like, oh, yeah.
this is why my son will beat your sons up. Is that what you're trying to prove?
No. It wasn't even anything to try to prove. I was just like, let me just do this for fun. And I was like, oh, this is a kind of cool thing that came out. It's like elite muscle composition. Is that what it was? Which is consistent with athletes. And a lot of these guys that I'm really close friends with are big fantasy football fans. They're not playing
But you
sports.
had that in yours.
I had that in mine. And they didn't do it, but they're also like talking shit. But I'm like, also, you guys are just like playing fantasy football. Like, you guys aren't playing any sports. You guys made the water boy on the basketball team in freshman year of high school. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I found that interesting. But yeah, they had a data leak.
Yeah, all the gene stuff is it's really interesting.
It's interesting, but it also said I wouldn't have male pattern baldness either. And I know, but based on the angle you can see, unfortunately.
I mean, you're tall enough though, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. As long as you can just retain this, right? I mean, mine's the opposite. Mine creeps back.
Yours is starting to creep back, huh?
No, it's been creeping back since I was 22. I've had a very receded hairline.
That it's been very, very tough, huh? I would say.
When I was like 21, I was convinced that I wouldn't have any hair by 25, and it just holds on. I'm very grateful. But
clinging on for dear life.
It must be all the glue that I put on there, but just constant reapplication. But anyway, I'm getting pitiful with some of these jokes, and so better. Well, I got my last day of class before 2-week break, so I'm in a pretty good mood.
Tomorrow's last day of class?
We had last day of students today, and then professional development tomorrow, so it should be pretty laid back.
And then you guys are off to Cali on when?
Saturday morning, 23rd.
Out of O'Hare or?
Out of O'Hare. We have a morning direct flight, so hopefully it won't be too bad. And weather's been decent, although I think it's a little bit worse on the West Coast.
How's he handling flights?
He's been good so far. I think the highest anxiety one was last summer. We get his own seat and everything to make it a lot easier, so we have a whole row. But it should be interesting this time around. He doesn't have tantrums as much, but me saying that will probably elicit one. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah. And he's also
and then when you guys
just came down with some sickness, so
probably. Dude, we started doing tumbling and music class, and we feel like both times we took him to music class, like he just got sick, and they're just like, "Fuck this."
Oh yeah, that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, no, I know it's how it's gonna be. It's just extraordinarily frustrating because. But when do you guys come back from Cali?
It's a short trip, Friday. So.
Jesus. This upcoming Friday? You guys are back on Friday?
Yeah, just 6 days, 6 nights, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, home for the holidays. First time in like a lot of years, so should be good.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a safe flight and safe trip, and everybody watching, I hope you guys have a happy holidays. And,
yeah, right. Merry Christmas, footy fellas.
Merry Christmas, bitches.
Yeah, you guys are great. I hope you get everything you deserve and want for the holidays this year, and I hope that all of your significant others and friends and family receive your gifts with huge smiles and gratitude. You've done a good job, guys.
Yeah. I just want to say I love each and every one of you equally. You guys are both friends and family to me.
Yeah. And you're the one, running the ship. Those being the manager at CFRS.
Golly, it's fucking annoying, but
Yeah.
I feel like part of me is like keeping it alive because it's like, yeah, this is my part that I'm contributing, even with my torn meniscus. But then also part of me is like, when I can return, I can just insert myself and tell whoever I need to fuck off because the old man's back. But yeah, no, I feel like if I don't do it, it'll fall apart, and not discrediting anybody. I'm sure it won't, but that's just like in the back of my head.
No, there's that possibility, but
I don't think it will.
no, yeah, we're not gonna let this thing die at this point. We're 10 episodes in, and we got another 1,000 ahead of us.
Yeah.
And if all goes according to plan, everybody be aware of your inbox. That's all I'll say.
Beware the inbox and your text messages.
Yeah.
And the WhatsApp.
Not beware. Be aware. Be aware.
Gotcha.
I'm not like hacking you or anything.
Oh, damn.
check your inboxes is what I should say.
Be careful. You might be like outside your window.
No, it's all good. All right, man. All right,
brother.
Have a good night.
You have a safe flight. Have a good
Thanks,
trip.
brother. All right, peace.